a look and see who we've got with us this morning. Get some people. Good morning, Naomi and Vicky, Marcus. Good morning, Francesca and Jill. Good morning, Marcus, Vicky. Yep, Chloe, John. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, Jane. Hello. Good morning, Jay, Ian, Andy, Matt. Good morning. Good morning. Didn't leave you that long ago, Matt. Gary, good morning. And Darren, good morning. Lucy, Sharon, hi. Nice to see you. Tammy, good morning. So many of you this morning hey Kay, I've already spoken to this morning or like messaged. Hi Emma, good to see you. Sandy, good morning. Chloe and Angry Turner. I think
the banner is still up.
I think that's Angie. Lorraine, good morning. Claire, yeah, Cara, D, Janice, yes, good morning all. Georgia, Abby, Perry, Mags, Matt, yes, hello, Carol, Connie, Tommy. I don't want to leave anyone out now. Leanne, Maria, Anne, good morning, good morning. Yeah, Carly, good morning. Susan, Claire, Nicole, Kim, Jackie, good morning. Michelle, Lee, good morning. Sarah, don't want to leave anyone out. Danielle, and good. Well, it's great to have you all with us this morning. We've got a little double bill. Daniel and I, we're in different locations, you may have noticed. And actually, I've just realised I'm sat in the wrong seat. They set me up a lovely backdrop this morning. I might change part way. But we're a little excitable here this morning because we're really, really so excited to be launching today the Salon Love app. More about that a little bit later. Because I had got planned today a curriculum or subject, call it what you will, and it is something that's really quite important. It's to do with our revenues. It's something that I feel needs addressing, and so we are going to address that first, and it's numbers. I hope you've all got a pen and a notebook with you. Okay, it is a really important thing that we're going to do. One of the things that first of all, last night it was Daniel's birthday yesterday, and so last night we had a glass of wine with Matt and Georgia over Zoom, and we were talking about how this all started, like the whole webinar thing. And some of you may remember, I certainly remember, what happened was Daniel and I were driving to work one morning, and no, I think it was even before we were driving to work. It was while we were at home that I had noticed that a lot of salons were talking about, oh, offices are closing, shops are closing, I think we should close, etc., etc. And I said to Daniel, there's something very important here that salons have, they're not taking into consideration. Who can remember what that was? It was what forced me to go live the first time. Who can remember what that was? Anybody? What I told you? I said, we're not like other industries. Who can remember what it was? Yeah, quite right, Val. The wages, right? The wages. And what I said to you is this: we're unique. Our wages are 50% of our income if we are lucky. And we're unique as an industry as far as that is concerned. For many office-based businesses, their wages are likely to be just 10%. And I kind of knew that the government would have to do something. I didn't know what. And I can remember actually going live and saying to you all, very interesting choice of language from Rishi Sunak. Do you remember this? When I said the word furlough, it's an American word. We don't use it in the English language. So we were talking about that last night. And of course, then I went live every morning that week. And then we turned those lives into these webinars because, you know, we wanted to make it a little bit more structured and bring more value. But then the P4H Academy online was born. So, you know, that's been an interesting journey in itself. It really has. Then, of course, what happened was suddenly we realized that there were all these clients that wanted and needed advice and products. And out of that, you know, is really where the Salon Love campaign has been born. And I think you all know how passionate I am about the industry, about hairdressers, about making sure that we, I hate it when we're used as an industry. I'm really passionate about that. And I feel like when we come to talking about the Salon Love in a little while, which is why Daniel and I are appearing today as a double bill, when we come to talking about that, I am so excited because it means that as salons, we no longer have to be the puppets of larger companies. We can bypass that. So like they've bypassed us in the past, we can now bypass them. And I'm excited. Anyway, something else I want to just share with everybody, because a lot of conversations I've had with people, I think I've shared with you all. You know, I'm no longer listening to the radio except for an example, in the mornings, I listen to Nick Ferrari when he has, or what's his name, Daniel? The guy I like in the morning who does the economy stuff.
Oh, it's a good question. Declan is one of them. It's two.
Yeah, but okay, I can't remember his name. But another one is LBC have a program at 9 p.m. a couple of times a week. There's a lawyer, his name's Daniel Barnett, and I find his shows really helpful. So, you know, I listen to selective stuff. I don't watch TV. Occasionally, Daniel and I will sit down to watch a movie at the moment because there's nothing else to do. So we do that. I'm sure, you know, a lot of you identify with that. And I've distanced myself from social media. And I know a lot of you have done that too. And, you know, the reason for that is because there is such a lot of misinformation, confusion. It's driving me mad. And I know I've had many conversations with a lot of you who feel the same way. And I just want to remind you that there's a statistic that says 300 hours of YouTube video are uploaded every minute. And the problem we have is not the first time I've said this. The problem we have is that we are drowning in content and starved of wisdom. And that is what is happening to many of us, right? In our need to try and fill our time. And I get it. I understand. I really do. You know, there's only so much. I'm not a gardener, but I've become an expert gardener, and there's only so much gardening you can do. So it's really hard for us to find enough, you know, good stuff to keep focused on. But that's what we need to do. We've 4 weeks left, just under 4 weeks. We know it's not going to be before the 4th of July. The government have categorically announced that yesterday. A question was asked in the questions after the briefing yesterday. If you didn't see it, one of the journalists said the non-essential shops that are allowed to open on the 15th of July were given 3 weeks to get prepared. Will the hospitality sector, and that's where we are sitting at the moment, will they also get 3 weeks? Because if they will get 3 weeks notice, that 3 weeks notice is nearly upon us. And at that point, the government did say, yes, they'll give us as much notice as they can, but it won't be before July the 4th. So we kind of know that. What I guess I'm really saying to you all is this, is try to choose the right kind of content to watch. There is plenty of good content there. if you need some help in finding some content to do with your business, you know, that is relevant, I mean, reach out and we'll tag you in videos and content and things that we know, you know, will help you and your team. All of the, well, no, actually, that's not true. I was just about to say all of our webinars have been uploaded to our YouTube channel, but they haven't actually. There are a couple that are not on there, but most of them have been uploaded to our YouTube channel, so you can watch them and see them again. This one today is being recorded. That means I have to watch what I'm saying. So you will be able to go back afterwards and watch this one again, or your team will be able to go back and watch it. Okay, so just a little bit of housekeeping. I can see some people putting some questions up. We're not ignoring them. We'll address them at the end. Your questions go into the blue box. Daniel and I are going to do a little bit of mediating the chat there, because we're able to do that when two of us are on. So we are going to be able to do that, but the questions for the most part we'll take at the end. So last week on Wednesday, what we did, we looked at retail and the opportunity that retail brings us in terms of being able to bring revenue into the business. Okay, and one of the things you'll remember is what I talked about was, I said we must make that average income per client for the salon, for every stylist, at least £5. It's possible, and we've got to push to do it. Okay, I did say if you wanted to, if you've already got, you know, great retail training in place, push it to 7. And 7 is what we're going to be pushing for at Feathers, because we need that income. We're going to be looking over the next couple of weeks at the 4 R's. Who can remember what the 4 R's are? Who can remember what the 4 R's are? Yep, retail, referrals, review, and rebooking. That's it, the 4 R's. So our clients can help us by buying our retail, and the opportunity is everybody needs shampoo. So they buy our retail, they can refer their friends, they can rebook, and they can review us, and all of those things help our business. Okay, and we're going to really focus on those things over the next few weeks. So what I want us to really look at today, so that was retail last week. Today I want us to look at turnover, because one of the things that I notice, and sometimes I have to go on to social media to be able to do the research. And yesterday morning I went on to UK Hairdressers Helping Hairdressers. And oh gosh, I was exasperated at the poor quality of the content in that group. 20,000 hairdressers in that group, and they're driving each other bananas. I know some of you here have withdrawn yourself from that group, and it's a shame, right? So there's no hair on there at all, and actually we tried to get some hair on there. I think Richard tried to get some hair on there, and they deleted the post, right, Richard? Is that correct? Am I understanding that right? Yeah, you lose the will to live reading it. Did you put, yeah, you put a post up and they wouldn't put it up. Anyway, I have made a donation this week to their charity on behalf of Passion for Hair. So hopefully they'll stop deleting our stuff. Anyway, let's leave that right there. So one of the things I notice is that everybody's focused on where everyone's going to stand, you know, how many stylists can I get in, where can I book the clients, is it going to be an hour, where will I get the cleaning time, da da da. And it strikes me that nobody's focusing on the income. Now, I know that in this group, some of you are going to say, no, that's not true. It's not me. You know, we've got targets for the income, etc., etc., and that's good if you have, right? Pat on the back. Go and get yourself a cup of coffee and wait till we, you know, if you've already done your numbers part. But it's really important that we make sure we're taking enough money. If you've been listening to the hospitality sector, the pubs and the restaurants, one of the things that they're saying to the government is that at 2 metre distancing, it's not even worth them opening. They cannot take enough money. And in many respects, you know, a lot of salons could find themselves in that position. And so what I want to do for the next 25 minutes is run through some numbers with you to try and help you make sure, so you can run through some of your own numbers, so you can make sure you know what the minimum amount of income is that your business can survive on. Otherwise, you're going to go through all the pain and heartache only to fall into some problems later on down the line. And as I always say, that is not going to happen on my watch. Okay? So pen and paper to the ready. I'm going to do it all on the whiteboard so that we're doing it together. Daniel's going to be watching out for your comments so that if it is that the question relates to what the number we're doing, like right at that minute, he'll, you know, stop me, because I can't always see what's going on there, and we'll address that number. Okay, I've made it real simple. In fact, some of you here who have got more sophisticated ways of doing your numbers are possibly going to think that I'm taking everybody back to infant school, but I don't really care how sophisticated or not it is. I'm more worried, or I'm more not worried, I'm more committed to making sure that everybody's got just a couple of simple numbers that you will be able to know on a daily basis whether you are on or off track. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Simple numbers, because what we do when we go back, we're going to make it count. We're coming out of this bigger and stronger. We can only do it if we know our numbers, right? So we're really going to look at the end of the day, how a business makes it or not. Let's call it break even. How a business makes it, how wages are paid, are just two components of a sum. Who can tell me what those two components are? So for you stylists that have done education, it's the same for a salon as it is as what you've been taught for your wages. Two components. What are they? Just waiting for. That's on your accounts, Jane. No, it's more simple than that. You can't do that on a daily basis, by the way. Gross profit and net profit. Your guest numbers and your average bill. Correct. Who said that? I've got the wrong glasses on this morning. I've left my reading glasses at home, so I've got my bifocals. Who was it, Daniel?
It was
Matt. So it's how many clients you can do at what average bill. Write it down. How many clients times your average bill. That's it. They're the two most important numbers. Okay? Real simple. And we can monitor this on a daily basis, because if we know how many clients we need and what the average income per client is, most of you have got computers which allow you to do it in real time, right? If you've got Salon IQ, you can do it off the dashboard. Okay, I don't know about other computer systems, but I know that they will allow you to monitor that in real time. In other words, if you're halfway through the day on a Monday, you'll be able to look at your dashboard and see how many clients you've done and at what average bill, and you'll know whether or not you're on or off track. Okay, and this is very important for us. So what I've done is I've put here this is a profit and loss, okay, that we're looking at here. And I've put this up not because we're going to go through this profit and loss. I told you it's going to be simple, but I want everybody to be able to understand where you'll get numbers from. Most profit and losses will look like this. Your income will be at the top, your sales, right? Then you will have your direct expenses. In this case, we've got purchases, and here we've got other direct expenses, which in hairdressing are wages. This one here, salon expenses, will be things like tea, coffee, milk, magazines, right? And then and we get the gross profit, okay? And then here we have our overheads, okay? Now, the overheads pretty much don't change for the most part. You may be lucky enough who's got a landlord who's forgiving some of the rent, but not everybody has that. Most landlords can't forgive the rent. They've got their own bills to pay. We have got a situation, of course, where we haven't got to pay rates until next, it will be next April 2021. So we have got that situation. And there are possibly some things here that you could cut from your expenses. But there are some things that you might have to increase. For an example, I know that we're all going back to some very, very busy weeks. Okay. But I was speaking to Brittany this morning, and she was telling me that one of the things that is happening, that is panning out, is that clients are going back to that old trick of, whilst they're rebooking for 8 weeks. And they are rationalizing that with, they don't want to come as often because it's safer to not come as often. And they've lived with their roots, and so they know the limit of, you know, where they can live with their roots a little bit longer. Okay, so that's something that we don't know yet, whether or not we'll be whether we'll have the same situation. But what we do know is this: in recessions, that is what happens. Clients spread their appointments out more. Okay, now what that means is this: you are going to have to find some new clients, and that means that you might have to increase your marketing budget, your advertising budget. So, you know, we have to bear in mind some of those things. Okay, very important. Now, what I want us to do is this. I'm going to go to the whiteboard. One of the important things is that we cover the wages, right? And one of the things that I know a lot of salons do is that they know their wages should be 50%. So they kind of go, we'll do it like this. Let me just get the right writing. Here we go. So let's imagine that we've got stylist wage, and this is one of the ways that you can work this out. And one of the things that's difficult, please understand that our audience here, you know, we've got salon groups on here, we've got people that work on their own, Oh, forgot the A. There you go. You get it. So let's imagine. So what I've tried to do is I've tried to kind of find the middle ground. So let's imagine we've got 3 or 4 stylists, right? They might be part-time, whatever. So 3/4 stylists. But in order to reach their minimum wage, right? Easy for you to work out. Their minimum wage for the stylists in our salon example is going to be £1,200. Okay? Keeping the numbers nice and round. Could have made it more complicated, didn't want to. So then we've got support people, right? Who are the support people? Yeah, apprentices. You read it for me, Daniel.
So you've got apprentices, receptionists.
Yeah.
Salon coordinator, same thing.
Yeah.
We've got Anna is saying Saturday girls or boys.
Yeah, that's right. Cleaner, bookkeeper. In this example that we've got here, we're going to say support staff. This is a week. Complete wage is going to be £200. Now, what else do we have to add on here? Yeah, the NI. The pension. Correct. And one other thing. Not the VAT. The holidays. The holidays. Okay. So we have to add on here. We're going to pay employers' national insurance contribution. The holiday that's being accrued is a cost to the business and it should be put into wage figures, and we've got the pension contribution. So it's around 8 to 10% depending on your mix of staff. Of course, if you've got part-time staff, it's less. So what we're going to do as a contingency is we're going to add 10%. So this total here is 1,400, right? 1,400, and we're going to add the 10%, which would be 140, like that. I saw someone back there say that Declan will tidy that up, and he hasn't tidied it up for me. 100. So what we've got there is 1,540. So if we know that that's our wages liability for a week, and we know that wages are 50%, or they've got to be 50%, it's really easy for us to work out what our take-ins should be. So what should the take-ins be?
Are you looking at the comments, Debbie?
Yep.
Or do you need me to?
Well done. £3,080 plus VAT. Okay. What comments did I look at? Daniel. What comments should I look at?
So you got 3,080 plus VAT. We have 4,400.
Okay.
So
thank you. Yeah. Okay. So £3,080 plus of course the VAT, because these will be ex VAT numbers. If we want to know what it is with VAT, then we can say, someone put, right, I'm talking about the cost to the business. Did I say something other than 35%? Anyway, okay, so that's what we've got there. So we know that the turnover, excluding VAT, if we wanted if that was the minimum that we pay the stylists, that's the minimum that we pay them by law. And we say, well, you know, we're in survival mode. So to survive, we've got to take 3,080, and anything over 3,080 means that somewhere someone's getting commission. Okay, that's all good. So let's imagine that our average income per client, I'm going to go over here, average income per client, right, is £40. We take 3,080 and we divide it by £40. Someone do that for me. Okay, good, Jane. 77 clients. So what we need to know in this scenario is that for the week we've got to do 77 clients at £40 average income per client, and what that will do in this scenario will make sure that our wages are 50%, which leaves 50% left for the other costs. Now, nice simple sum, something that all of you could probably do in about 30 minutes this afternoon. However, there is a cross check that you must make, okay? And the cross check is against other expenses. Now, the other wages, of course, is the biggest expense for a hairdressing salon. What is the other large expense for a hairdressing salon? Yeah, the rent. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a cross check against the rent, because if we only use this and it isn't enough to generate enough money for us to keep up with the rent, what will happen is down the line we'll end up in a problem. So if we go back to our presentation, here we are. Can you clear that one for me, Dec? The whiteboard. I don't know if you can clear it while I'm on this one. Can you see here that we've got our rent is, I can't see those little numbers, so I'm reading it off of where I wrote it down. 32,283. And we've got our rates there at 6,271. The 3,080, Matt, was the doubling of the wage cost. That makes the wages 50%. Okay. So note those rent and rates there. They're the other largest cost.
Debbie,
and
have
now
you seen
what we're
Matt's
going to do
comment?
is a cross check to make sure that that one sum is enough, because I'm telling you it's possibly not, and we'll see why. Declan will clear that whiteboard for us. I'm going to do it
Debbie.
first of all with the rent and rates together, because whilst we're not paying the rates, it'd be really good to see how we can maintain our position and try and make up some of the some of the revenue we've lost, if you like, along the way. So let's do it first of all with our rent and rates together. So in our example that we're going to use, the rent and rates, we'll call it the R and R, the rent and rates together are, already done this one, 3, 8, 5, 5, 4, and 49 pence.
Debbie, can you hear me?
You're asking me if I can hear you?
Yes, Matt had a comment asking where the 3,080 came from. I'm not sure if you answered that.
I did answer it.
You did, okay.
Yeah, didn't I, Matt? Right, okay, so this is the rent and rates, 38,554 and 49. Now, if we divide that by 52, okay, divide it by 52. What that gives us on a weekly basis is £741. Oh, sorry, 43 pence. £741.43. Now, in those profit and loss that I showed you, which would be our last trading year, and we might say, well, that was my last trading year. And if you noticed on that particular one, the profit was in the region of 50-something thousand pounds. Okay. And so if I can, you know, maintain that position as close as I can, that's really what I want to do. The rent and rates on that profit and loss model are 15% of the turnover. Okay. So now what we want to cross check is what percentage of the rent and rates are on that model that we just done of £3,080. Are you with me? Declan, can you see that Richard's having trouble? He's lost his sound. So if we take the rent and rates that are here and we apply that, we did the weekly figure here, 741.43. If we apply that to our turnover of 3,080, I'm afraid to tell you that our rent and rates would be 24%. Now, can you see why it's important that we make this double check? Because we've gone from 15% of our turnover to now suddenly it's 24% of our turnover. And here's what makes this so important. This is one of these invisible things that you do not see happening. It will creep up on you about 6 months down the line when it's almost too late to do anything about it. So you think you're doing okay, right? But then you'll realize further down, okay, let's do the same numbers and let's take the rent and rates off. Let's say, all right, well, let's have a stage 1 on a plan, on a financial plan, and then let's have a stage 2 that we've got to bring back later on in 2021. So the rent by itself, just the rent, so just the rent by itself is 32,283. So let's apply the same sum. Weekly divided by 52. Weekly, this gives us £620. So we've been forgiven £120 a week on those rates. So we've got £620. Now again, when we apply this £620, can't find my sum now. When we apply this £620 to the 3,080, who can tell me what I can see? Oh, that's Marcus. I know Angie. I know Angie. She did my business school in the US. Anyway, we'll come back to that. Who can tell me £620 against 3,080? The percentage, please. I did it this morning and I can't find my sum.
You've got some comments there coming up.
Okay, thank you, Marie. 20%. Thanks, guys. So it's 20. And remember that we were running before on 15. So now what we want to find out is at what point do the turnover need to be in order for me to bring the rent to 15%? Okay, we're forgetting the rates. But what does the turnover need to be? So in order for the rent to be 15% of the turnover, we need the turnover to be 4,133. Okay, that's what we need. Leanne's asking me, what do you mean by apply? What did I say apply to? Tell me which bit to go back to, because if you're lost, other people will be. Give me a yes if you're lost. Give me a Y if you're lost. Anybody else? Yep, okay, good. Only takes us a minute to go back. Okay. All right, a couple of people. I'm going to go back. I'm not sure where I said apply. So this is the rent that we've got to pay. Divide it by 52. It's £620 a week. When we divide 620 into 3,080, why are we applying it to the wages? Well, we're not applying it to the wages. We're doing a double check. We're doing a double check. Okay. And this is based on 3 to 4 stylists. Danny, I can see you. Okay. You can apply it to one stylist. You just do the same sums. Right? So has that made it clear now, Leanne? You speak for the group that I lost. And those of you that have got real good number brains, bear with the others. We're all in it together. Okay, how did I get the figure of 4133? I'm going to come back to that in a second. Okay, good. Michelle's got it. That's good. All right, didn't know what I divided it by. So we want the rent to be 15%. Okay, here's what I did. I took £620, which is the amount of the rent per week. I divided it by, I want it to be 15%. So I divided it by 3. And timesed it by 20, which is someone on here who's a maths genius is going to tell us that's not the easiest way to do it. Is there someone on here going to give us a better sum? Does somebody want me to say that sum out again? Okay. So we want 620 to be 15% of the turnover. Okay. And in fact, if you divide, I can get my calculator. If you divide 620 divided by 4133, it's 15%. Okay. How I did it was this. If I want 620 to be 15%, I divided it by 3, which made it 5, and then timesed it by 20. If yours is 15%. Okay. If anybody needs help with this, you just contact me and I'll help you with it. I'm not a maths genius at all. In fact, years ago, 30 years ago, when I was learning about business, I didn't even know what break even was. Like, I didn't even know what the word was. So I was in a class and they said, right, today we're going to learn break even. And they said, who knows what their break even is? And I put my hand up and he said, oh, well done. You know what your break even is? I said, no, I've got a question. What does break even mean? I didn't even know what it meant. So one of the reasons I became somebody that taught numbers was because I had to learn them in a hairdresser very simple way. I learned to teach them in a hairdresser simple way. Now I've lost a little bit of that skill now because mentally I find numbers quite easy these days. But hopefully I'm I'm trying to do my best today. So Jill's asking, the goal is to have your rent as a maximum of 15% of your take-ins. In that example that we looked at, it was 15%. Rent and rates, never more than 20%. Rent and rates, never more than 20%. Okay? Rent and rates together, never more than 20%. So wages at 50, rent and rates at 20. You're already on 70. And we're not even paid anything else. Okay? So really, we want it less than that. It'd be really ideal if we could have it 15%. Have I got an up-to-date pie chart of expenses? I have indeed, Matt. Let me think of the best way to distribute that. Actually, it's not in a pie chart. It's not a pie chart. It's in a chart. If anybody contacts me by email, please do it by email. So if you email me and say, please send me the best and worst case percentages, I will email it back to you. Please all do it by email because it means that it's an easy task for me. If you all come at me from WhatsApp, Messenger, email, it becomes difficult. Debbie Digby at AOL.com. That's the email address. Debbie, D-E-B-B-I-E, Digby, D-I-G-B-Y, at AOL.com. So, what we've discovered is in order for our business to be able to reach those minimums, as it were, we've done two sums, not just one. We've done the 50% wages, and then we've double checked it on 15% of the rent. And this is not the be all and end all of the world because I took the rates out. And so at some point, I've got to get the rates back in there before next March. Is everybody with me? So now we want to go back to our two numbers. What two numbers do we want? So we can check in real time every day how we're doing. All without VAT, Abby. All without VAT. You know me better than that. Yeah, we're doing the average bill and the client count. So 4133, we'd go back and we'd say, what is our average bill? We can look at that from the history, right, on the computer. So let's go back to the other sum that we did. We did 40 average bill and 77 clients on just the wages. Let's now apply this to an average income of £40. Okay, average income. Oh gosh, that's terrible. £40. So we divide 4133 by 40. How many clients is it? 103 clients. Correct. Now we're going to have another double check in a second because remember I said there are 3 to 4 stylists depending on how many hours they do. We've now got to check, is it possible to do 103 clients? And if it's not, what do we need to do? Come on, take a guess, everyone. Gary, retail's really good. You see on that example that I gave you, that profit and loss there, the profit from the retail on that profit and loss was 14,920 contributed to the yearly profit. But here we're doing it without the retail. We're keeping that separate, okay? We need to increase the average bill. I see a couple of you say that. We need to increase the average bill because if we increase the average bill, I hope I don't run out of paper here. If we increase the average bill to 45, how many clients does that mean we have to do? Yeah, it is less, Maria. Very good. Yeah, it's 91 point something. Okay, 91 point something. So we'll call it 92 because you can't do a half a client. So it's 92 clients at 45 pounds. Now, once we've done these numbers, very simple. It's something I've thought about this long and hard. How I can give you. I don't want to blow your brain. You don't need your brain blown. Your brain's already blowing, right? But I do want everybody to know how many clients, at what average income they have to do in order for the business to be viable opening the door. Okay, I've done this for all of my salons. How many clients at what average income? So we know how much turnover we need. So at the end of the week, we say it was worth opening the door. Not so that we're in a situation where, you know, we're all working hard, we're doing a lot, etc., and we're not taking enough money to make it worth the while of opening the door. Okay. So I can see someone's got a. Is everyone with me? Yeah, good. Good. All my clients will be colours for the first 2 weeks. This makes my average bill to be ambiguous. Correct. And if that's what happens, you know, you've got a different situation on your hands. But at the end of the day, it will be about the number of clients you do times the average income per client. It's got to come out to 4133. But let me take that example because I feel that I'm able, and this is going to be the last point, and then we're going to move on to the exciting part. Let's imagine that in the first few weeks, your average income per client is £60. Let's imagine. And because you do, so if we've got an average income per client of 60, okay, how many clients would we have to do? £69. Thank you. Whoever worked that out. So if the average income per client was 60, okay, the number of clients would be 69. Now the problem is, if you make 69 your rhythm, your momentum, the number of clients you do every week, and eventually the number of clients that are having colour spreads out, which will happen. So your average income per client goes down. You're going to have a problem further down the line. Okay, so it's fine because you can do this sum backwards or forwards, right? You can do it forwards so that you say at the beginning of the week, you say, I need to do 92 clients at an average income per client of 45. You get to the end of the week and you say, I did 69 clients at an average income per client of 60. It's okay. That because you did get £4,133, which is enough money to pay the bills. Understand? But moving forward again, if we want to be able to monitor in live time whether or not we're on or off track, we've got to make sure next week it is 60 and 69 clients. And if it drops to 50, you must do more clients. Yep, so do it daily. And that's why I've tried to make it very, very simple here. And does everyone understand that? It's okay. If this changes, you must change this. Here's the point. If you know you're off track, you can do something to get back on track. But if you don't know, we won't know until you get 6 months down the line that your business is not where it should be. Okay? So please, everybody, find the sum of how many clients you need at what average income per client and what turnover that gives you. We can change these numbers as long as we hit that turnover. And this is important. It's what the restaurant industry are talking about, whether or not it's worth opening the door. Okay? Good. Daniel.
I'm ready. Can you hear me good? Right, so Declan, can you clear the whiteboard, please?
Well, you want the presentation, huh?
I do, yeah.
You want that.
Moving forward one. Yeah, okay, so fun to do a double bill like this with Debbie. It's like being pulled up on stage with Bruce Springsteen in 1992. Salon Lab app is ready, I should say. So if you do have a smartphone sitting on it, please go to App Store or the Android Play Store and download it. So you just do hashtag Salon Lab and download it, and you can have it on your phone as we sit and go through it. So you can play around and get a feel for it. But let's just remind ourselves how this came about and give you some context and background before we go into some of the details. Myself and Debbie and Passion for Hair, if you like, have probably had the thought of how do we move the products that we have into the e-commerce space and still keep the integrity of the brand, the integrity of us as a company, and the integrity of the salons like you guys who are supporting us. That has been the challenge. Just moving on to e-commerce is fairly easy. That's what we've been struggling with. And I think you know the background of the story from previous webinar, how Euphora found a system through a website. They've been running it slightly over a year with a rewards program, etc. And that's really where we got the initial idea from. Then, of course, lockdown happened, and we sprung into the Salon Lab campaign by doing orders through email, WhatsApp, Facebook. However, we have done that, and tons of you have done a really good job on this, and we have picked and packed the orders, and we have sent them out. Some of these weeks we've done over 300 orders. It's been good, but it's been somewhat messy. It needed to be systemized and most certainly needed to be digitized. So we started working on an app which is ready. We actually had the Apple go ahead yesterday, so it was ready yesterday. So we've done some testing, etc. So let's look at some of these numbers on this first slide, just to bring us up to date and why so important with m-commerce or e-commerce, if you like. And you can see there's tons of research on this. I have, Debbie, can you turn your sound down a little bit, please? Thank you. Here's some interesting numbers from 2019. 38% of UK consumers buy online at least once a week. This is pre-lockdown numbers, by the way. I have seen some reports, and as you can imagine, you're probably part of those studies. E-commerce have gone up, of course, during lockdown. 34% use smartphone to purchase when they do e-commerce or m-commerce. And in 2023, is estimated that 73% of all retail online sales will come through m-commerce, so mobile devices, so smartphones, etc., smartwatches. So omni-channel is becoming a must-have for majority of businesses. Omni-channel means you have across channels, you have more than one channel to sell your products. At this moment in time, the Passion for Hair community, we're extremely proud to have been able for the last 9 years to align ourselves with brands that have the stylist and the salon at heart, meaning you can't really get our products anywhere else. You guys know that. So how do we move that ahead? And that's really what we've done here with Salon Lab. And I want to say this, and we are recording this. If I get too heated and I say something that might not be good to have on recording, we might not post this. So let's hope I stay nice and cool on these things. But I want you to know this: if you are supporting a brand that has omni-channel, meaning they are selling everywhere, and you are happy with your retail with that particular brand, you are still leaving money on the table. There's just no two ways about it. And it's not really that difficult to look at, because let me ask you this: has in-salon retail grown in direct proportion with some of these brands when they've been selling online? The short answer is no. They are doing really well. The truth is, our industry are very good as an industry when it comes to e-commerce. The problem is there is no trickle down to salons. And that's really the bridge we are trying to the gap we're trying to bridge, as you should say. And that's become the challenge. And this is really what we're presenting you today. We believe that this is the solution for our salons, our network, to move forward. So Debbie, are you in control of the presentation, please?
You want the next slide?
Yes, next slide. So
there you are.
Let's just have a look. There's some comments there. I'm going to leave them. So we have 3 steps to ensure that you as a salon, you as a stylist, get the most out of the Salon Lab app. Number 1 is educate. I'm not going to read this for you. What is really important is this: when you download this app, and I hope that some of you have done it already, because it's a beautiful app. It's smooth. And moves around. When you download the app, like any commerce app that you might have experienced, you can browse it. You can look at the prices. You can browse it. But in order for you to purchase, to make a purchase on the app, you have to register with your salon. So this part, the educating part, is you guys educating the client that they put in your salon, in that bar. So, for example, when I did mine, I'll show you some pictures of my orders earlier. Or me, it says Daniel, and I did Debbie, Feathers Colchester, so that would be my salon. So on my account, at every time, anytime I make a purchase, my purchase is directly linked to Feathers Colchester in this case. And communicating that is really, really important, because we can help you with the app, we can help you with tools for your clients, but we're not talking to your clients. We are not doing that part, because the in-salon environment, the service that you provide, the recommendation, the use of the product is key. This app, in our eyes, is a salon app for your clients. This is not an app for the masses. We are not looking to take on Amazon and all of these other big e-commerce platforms. We are simply trying to give our community of salons the same benefits and their clients to have the same ability and convenience to purchase products 24/7, with the big difference of rewarding salons. If you have brands in the lockdown that is available online, and your clients have wanted to purchase those products, they have most likely purchased them somewhere else, because majority of brands, regardless, I don't want to say too many names. I don't need to say names. You know them. It's no news. I'm not sitting here on a secret. You know what brands are doing what. Otherwise, they wouldn't pay for the stars to be on TV or etc. So you know those brands. So that education element is really, really important. This app is not instead of salon retail, it's an add-on. If you have clients that will never buy anywhere other than you face to face, that's great. But the reality tells us that there will be elements and periods in their journey and in their sort of relationship with you as a salon, as a stylist, where they might not be able to come, they might run out of shampoo in between, and they live too far away to just pop in, etc. So it's a really good opportunity to ensure that repurchase is the repurchase of the products that is made convenient and available 24/7. Create a reason to buy would be the second reason. second step for you to help them out. And I don't think I need to give you the reason for retail. I think we're all in this group at this moment in time understand the importance of it. But creating that urgency with some of the dialogue that we're already using, and a lot of the education is 60% what I do as a stylist, 40% what you do, creating that urgency and that accountability for the clients. And again, for them to listen to you and be able to repurchase whenever they want that particular product, and you still get rewarded. We will provide free gifts for any purchase, and we'll match that to the brand. So if you are a Euphoria purchase, Euphoria client, you will receive Euphoria gift if you're census, etc. So we will help to maintain that aspect of things. We have completely transformed how we do orders at Passion for Hair, or gradually. We started Salon Love with finding any box of the best possible size to send products. We have reinvented and invested in various sizes of boxes now to make it look nicer and better and more consumer friendly, more commercially B2C rather than being just to salon. So you will see a big difference in that. We don't have all the components at this moment in time, but it will be branded Salon Love rather than Passion for Hair. And I'm telling you that because I think at the moment it's probably been an element of confusion in between everything, because Passion for Hair sometimes phone up for a payment. There will be Passion for Hair cards, etc. in there. All of that will be a branded Salon Love. And from your point of view, it's almost like it's your app, Salon Love, and the client doesn't know when it's different. So you will see that aspect. And number 3, we need to promote this. And you need to promote this. We are not
Daniel,
Yes?
just before we get to promote, I just popped off for a second to, I think everybody here knows the size of box that we normally have. And any distribution company will have, you'll only have a couple of different sizes of boxes, because you don't want to keep, so many different sizes. I want to show you the size of the box that goes out of our warehouse on a daily basis, the box that goes out the most at the moment. Look at it, little diddy thing. But just to reiterate what Daniel was saying, so we've changed. We've got the sizes of the boxes to make the parcels nicer to receive. We've got coming, it's not arrived yet, it's taken quite a while, but the tape will be Salon Love tape. They're packed with tissue and not bubble wrap, and cardboard, and as Daniel said, the gift with purchase. And the card that we do for you, we will do for we do put them in the Salon Love orders. At the moment they are still Passion for Hair cards, but they will be Salon Love cards. And at the moment, the message that goes out on the card says, thank you. You have supported an independent stylist and salon with your purchase.
Yeah, all of the language and communication on the app as you browse through, and things like those kind of little comments and messages for the client is all about supporting an independent salon. So we're reinforcing the purchase they're making is supporting you guys. So it will be completely branded differently than Passion for Hair, and I think that's going to be important moving forward. Be important for you, but also for your clients to see that it's a separation. And it really brings me on to the separation part that I think we touched on previously, is that we wanted to make an app because, one, we wanted separation from the passionforhair.com website, which is our professional website, our trade accounts. Many of you use it. It's where we do business with all of you guys, the salons, and completely separate that from the consumer side of things, which will be the app. We also think that the app is the way forward, purely and simply because all the trends, I can see what devices you guys are on. There's a little insight for you. And I would say probably more than half of you are currently sitting on mobile phones versus tablets and desktops. So I think if we look at our own behavior, it's all about the phone. It is taking over when we travel, when we park, when we call, when we message, when we do these kind of things. So we felt app was the right way forward. And I do realize you can get a phone-friendly website, but we just felt that was the right thing to do to get the separation. So the promotion side of things is really for you guys to do in the salon. We are going to have some material that I'm going to show you as we move on. Do it digitally. So when you do your social media, we have created assets for you so you can talk to your clients regarding the app and they can download it. You can use it in email form if you do e-blast, etc. And we're going to have physical material as well for in-salon promotions. So let's look what that looks like. Debbie, it's not moving. Oh, there we go. So one of the physical things you will have in the salon is these strut cards. So they're sort of, Declan, remind me, are they A5 or are they A5, Debbie? I can't hear you. A5, thank you very much. So the A5 size, they got the message on there, and they got a QR code, which is, if you haven't used a QR code before, you take the camera of your smartphone. Most new updated phones, some of them you need a QR app, but you take the camera of your phone, hover it over the QR code, and it brings you to the app so you can download it. So that's the strut cards that will be for us to give you to use in the salons. We will also have, next slide. I can't hear you, Debbie. I can see you speaking, but I can't hear you. Declan, can you give support? I can see that Debbie was speaking. Maria just tried the QR code. It worked. Yes, surprise, it did work. Okay, can everyone else hear me? Or is it just, Debbie, you done something with your computer, we can't hear you. All right, guys, I'm sure Debbie has a few comments there. I mean, can you guys hear me okay, or is it just Debbie? Right, so we're going to crack on, and Debbie will join in as soon as she managed to solve the sound situation. We're going to have some window stickers here as well, so you can see the message on the right, but what they look like, you will look on the image on the left on the mirror. So it's a see-through mirror decal sticker, or whatever we call them. They will have the QR code and a brief message and how to shop on Salon Love, the 3 simple steps, which is download, register, and register with your salon. That is super important. Register with your salon. That's probably the part for you guys that you need to be to pay attention to. And let me explain. If you have a single salon and you are called Feathers and you're in Colchester, then it's quite easy. But there are a few salons that might have the same name. They're single location salon, but you have the same name as another one. So our recommendation for you here is, for example, to say name of salon and your location. So a few examples I can give you with Feathers is super easy. It's Feathers Colchester, so that's one salon. Feathers Braintree. And if we use Matt in Georgia with GMs, you would have GMs East Dulwich, GMs Crystal Palace. So it's very clear and precise. And it's important because I see sometimes orders from salons, etc., and certainly learned from consumers, some of your clients over the last 2-3 months, that sometimes they might have a nickname for your salon. And at Passion for Hair, we do try to pay attention and learn as much as possible possible, but sometimes it's really hard for us when clients make up the name on products, but certainly when they make up the name on salons. So for example, we've had things like that salon in London. You know, it's quite a few salons in London, and we don't do business with all of them, so it can be tricky for us to know where the commission is going to go to when it comes down to the commissions side of things. Yes, thank you, Debbie. You're saying using the points to get all of these materials. So going back to the name part when they register. So what I would recommend that you do if you have downloaded the app, and maybe you're on it now as I speak, if you register yourself with your salon name, that's what I would do at this moment in time, so you can see what your client is going to go through from a registration point. It's super easy. You put in name, you put in salon, address, and I think it's email, of course, and you come up with a password. So it's not that complicated to do. The payment system on the app is Apple Pay, is PayPal, and standard credit card, debit card. So you can do those things. Let's move forward one more time.
Can you hear me now?
Debbie, please move Declan, can you move the slide for next slide, please? This is a screenshot of our P4H Pro website. And if you can see in the top bar, you have hashtag Salon Love campaign. If you click that one, you will see what we are seeing right now on the screen. You will have digital assets for the app to do a campaign. So you have the Salon Love, I forget what they're called, thing there.
You can tiles.
Tiles, thank you very much, Debbie. So you have the Salon Love tile, you have the QR code, is one QR code for Android and Apple. So use that one QR code, and depending on the phone that they have is what they will get up. So if they have an Android, use it. If they have an Apple, use it. And you have the support your stylist, which we've had for a while, which is really the tile that kicked everything off. So these are the current 3 digital social media, etc. Assets that you have. When
Daniel,
yes,
Declan, I've just suddenly thought about this. How will people get the Salon Love logo to use? Because of course, we'll want the logo used in its pure form. How will people download that, please?
Oh, excellent. So the logo that you can see there. So we should upload that one as well. I was just going to say, as we increase these assets and as we move forward with these things, this is the location. This is our resource page when it comes to education, images, etc. So we can get that logo up there, so you have that as a 4th item. And as we move forward and bring out any new digital material, it will end up under the Salon Love campaign, and you can download it and use it as you do it. And I can see Darren there with a question. Darren, I'm going to leave that for a little bit later, if you don't mind. And you can also see the link there above those 3 tiles, which is the link if you do something in email form. If you do an e-blast for your clients, you would use that link. They would click it and download it through link. And really important to remember, QR code is to take someone onto digital. So that's why we have QR codes on physical material like the strut cards, and like on the mirror decal that we're going to have. They can literally use the QR code to get the app on the phone. We are not going to use the QR codes on emails or other things. So
Daniel, Maria just said that she used the QR code and it worked. So Maria, just tell us, just type please, where did you scan it from?
Would have scanned it from her phone, with her phone from her iPad or mobile device or digital device. But people won't really be doing that. If they're browsing on their phone, they're not going to be able to scan the QR code from their phone with their phone.
All right. Well, can you see that there that people are saying Marcus just said he did it off the presentation.
Yes,
Maria
yeah,
said she took a
yes.
picture with her phone. Emma
Yeah.
said off this pic, so off the
Yeah.
presentation.
Yeah, I can see that. But what I'm saying is they're already on a digital platform. So if they were on their phone and a QR code came up on their phone, they wouldn't have another phone to scan it with. The only reason they can do that at the minute is because they have their phone and they're watching this presentation through their computer or iPad.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Just understanding.
So anything that's posted digitally, if that's an email, Facebook, on your website, use the link. Anything you're going to print in hard copy, whether that's a poster or anything for in salon, any point of sale like that, use the QR code.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just to clarify, you can use the QR code, exactly what Declan here just said. We're not saying you cannot do it, but the likelihood that, let's use an email blast. If I receive an email blast, I tend to read 99% of those on the phone. If you send me a QR code, I somehow need to get the QR code off the phone to take it. The idea to make it, but you can do it. So if you're reading your email blast on a laptop, you get a QR code. Can you do it that way? Absolutely, you can. The QR codes are super efficient. But just so you understand that most of your people will most likely, maybe not, you can look at your own insights, read anything or look at anything on the phone. So the link would probably be more effective for you. Can you use, maybe unless someone has two phones, but just so we understand, you can use it, but the likelihood that they will download it from that medium QR code on the phone, and it's not going to happen just from practicality point of view, but you can use it.
So, and Daniel, if I missed this because I was trying to get my sound working, I apologise. QR codes, by the time the salons go back, hopefully on July the 4th, the QR codes we'll have as stickers. Is that correct?
We can, yeah, super easy. But the QR code will be on, at this moment in time, the QR code is on the strut cards. There's a QR code on there. It's a QR code on the window decal. We do not, at this moment in time, but it's super easy to fix, do just an individual QR code sticker. You can do that. Of course we can.
Yeah, I think we should. For mirrors, stickers for mirrors. Like we had
but we do, sorry.
Live.
Okay.
Oh, look.
Yeah, sorry. I think you missed that. We do have window decals. I don't know what happened to you there. So we have a window decal with a QR code.
Oh, okay.
I thought I showed you this morning.
I called it a sticker.
Okay, yeah, call it what you like. They go on the window. So on the left-hand side, you can see what it looks like.
Well, that's not a window; it's a mirror.
A mirror window. Okay. I'm glad we're having this conversation now, but we have those.
Divided by a common language.
We are indeed. So that's that material. So you have the physical material for windows and mirrors. Then you have the strut cards, and we're going to have the digital assets. And the other part, what I think is really important here to share with you guys is, I'm sure it's going to be, it's been some questions, and I have sort of ignored them and not looked at them, but we'll take them, answer those in very shortly. Is, this is the first release for us. What we want this app to be is a 24/7 business partner for our salons and stylists. That's the idea. The idea that it brings what we do into the e-commerce space that our industry is doing really well already. It's just not that rewarding the right people in the chain. That's not offensive. That's just what's happening. We're not growing in, I can't get that out of my mind, that we are not growing in proportion to some of these companies. And we think that this will give us that opportunity to be smooth, reliable, be able to innovate the convenience for our clients and get paid for it. So some of you guys have asked me throughout the last couple of weeks, what this reward program is. And this reward program is a cash reward program. It's pure commission. It's not points. It's not a t-shirt. It's not a cup of tea. You get cash. So it's a commission-based rewards program that we're doing here. So that's how it works. And that's important, because I don't think that happens enough with a few people that might have even attempted something similar to this. So that's the aspect of the app. And as a lean, mean retailing machine working 24/7, at this first release, that's exactly what we're going to focus on to leave that going. To get it going and to get your clients, get you guys used to the situation. We do have a couple of features that we want to add to it moving forward. But at this moment in time, we think it's all about making clients aware of it and getting you used to the idea to help your dialogue and help your planning and strategy in terms of how you share it and how you do things. So I think at this moment in time, I will probably open up to any questions when it comes to the app, and see.
Declan will put the questions up. Can you put the questions up, Dec?
And it might not be any questions because it's
No, there are.
I know it is.
Please ask your questions, guys, whatever they are, because if we've missed something, this is the point at which we want to deal with it.
Yeah, this app is for you guys. We have built this app. The idea and the seed of this app came from a salon point of view and out, not from passion for hair and into a salon. So your feedback is really, really important at this very moment in time. As I said, it was just ready yesterday. We even this morning been done some some editing in terms of spelling, because we do with Italian companies, American companies. There's all these variables that we have to do. So any questions, any thoughts, now is certainly the time. So let's start with this first question from Maria. Can we share this with our friends and clients? Would it be okay to share on social media? I mean, yes. I mean, there's no restriction on this.
From here on in.
Yeah, absolutely. So short answer, yes. Share it away. Next question. Free gift to client with every purchase. Tammy, yes. Short answer. We are going to have a free gift with every single purchase. And the free gift is going to be...
It depends on the size of the order. So, for an example, some clients at the moment are ordering one fard. And if they order one fard, they get a sachet of shampoo, because fard's a conditioner. So then we send a sachet of shampoo as the free gift. And we've had quite a few sales of people saying, God, I love that shampoo. And then they buy the shampoo. So, yes, there will be. And if it's a bigger order, so for an example, if it was an H.H. Simonson order and it's a £140 iron, they'll get a brush. And if it's a Euphoria order and it's 2 products, for the men, we've got some shave. Are they 1 ounce tubes, Daniel, or 2 ounce?
Yeah. So I guess you summarize it at this moment in time. For example, with Hero, we have 1 ounce classic shave, post shave, which is beautiful products that goes with Hero purchases. But I mean, I don't know if Debbie has. I certainly haven't planned every single free gift for the next year or 2. But suffice to say, we are going to match the free gift. There is a free gift with every purchase. That gift might vary in size and value depending on the value of the order, of course. But there is a free gift. The free gift will also match the brand purchased. To the best of our ability. So if you are a Euphoria person, we are not going to cross-market products. If your client purchase Euphoria, they will get Euphoria gift. If they buy Senses Illumina, they will get Senses gift. So there will be gift matched with value of order, but also matched with the brand. Next question, Declan.
Could the client enter the name of the stylist next to the salon name in order to get their commission? And the answer to that is yes. Simply. I think it is a good point, actually, Daniel, to mention there. If you've got a salon name, which is there, there are other salons with the same name, make sure your client puts your town as well. So for an example, Feathers, we need the client to say Feathers Braintree, Feathers Witham, Feathers Malden. You know, if you are, I know that Cara's here from the hair studio, so we need hair studio Hadley. Yes, L, Tewkesbury. That's good.
I thought I did this. Did I not mention that?
Okay, well, it's okay to mention it twice.
It is indeed. Does Salon have their own QR code? Darren, no. So the QR code is for the app. There's no need to have a Salon QR code. There is one QR code to get the app, and that's the one that we are sharing with you. So the important, I guess where I'm, maybe you wanted to ask another question. I guess you're asking if your client download it, will it be sort of somehow tagged to you? No, not unless they register. So it's the registration part that's important, and that's where they need to put your salon name in. The QR code itself is literally a QR code for the app that has no relationship digitally with your salon. It comes through registration on the app, and that's where they put your salon in.
And the client cannot make a purchase without filling out the box that says, you know, which is your salon. It's not possible to make a purchase without filling out that information. And once that client has filled out that information, that client's account is then tagged to your salon forever. Next question, Deck. Jane, yes, the answer to that question is yes. We are hoping, actually, you guys go nuts this afternoon.
And Jane, if you do that, use the link rather than the QR code. Use the top tip. Right, great question, Maria. So it's not 33, it's 32. So let's talk commission. I wanted that to come up as a question rather than, you know, on a slide. So it's 32%. Which is slightly less than the standard 40% that we do, sort of, you know, the standard 40% in salon sales.
Gross profit.
The gross profit. So it's 32. What we have done here is really looked at how can we give as much commission as possible, but still take on board the cost and the ongoing cost of doing this, so shipping, boxes, and all of that sort of stuff. And it landed at 32. What we have done to offset that, if you like, or to be attractive, is this 32% on every single product on the app. So let me explain. There is many variables we can go through, and I know Debbie has a few great examples. But if you are a current Euphoria and Sensus salon, for example, so you do Sensus hair color, you do Euphoria retail, your client goes on to buy a popular shampoo, urgent repair shampoo and treatments on the app, and they happen to come across the H.H. Simonson hairdryer, and they purchase that hairdryer, but you don't stock it, you still get 32%. If they come across a brush, or maybe they come across the skincare from Malibu C, and you don't stock Malibu C, you don't even have the professional products, you still get 32%. So it is 32% versus 40. However, it's across all of the products, even if you don't have it in the salon at that moment in time. So our commitment to you through the app is by saying you are committed to us at Passion for Hair through Sensus and Euphoria. We have this amazing tool that's going to help you get e-commerce, m-commerce, and mobile sales through an app that you can utilize with your client, and it's going to stretch across all of the brands that we have. Now, I do want to tell you this. There is, of course, terms and conditions for the user, so your client downloading it. So your client downloads is user and privacy and all that sort of stuff. You can read it. It's all on there. That we don't sell the detail and the contacted data and all of those kind of things. But what's really important is that there is also a user agreement between you as a salon, as a stylist, and Passion for Hair. So those terms and conditions, the sales agreement, if you like, is available on p4hpro.com. You click Salon Love Campaign, and if you hover, you get the drop-down list, and you can see the terms and conditions. You can visit those. But it's fairly straightforward, and you can look at that. Do you want to add anything to that, Debbie?
No, I think that's good. I mean, if people have got more questions, please do ask them.
Well, I want to add this actually on that. I want you to think about the big picture here, going back to the commission part. It doesn't, I'm not suggesting at all here that it's by chance that they stumble across H.A. Simonson and purchase that. It's really important to understand that you can use this in terms of planning and strategy to increase retail, knowing that any purchase on that app is going to be paid commission to you. So you just think about that. I'm not suggesting that all of it will be by chance, that you just happen to buy Urgent Repair shampoo and stumble across a hairdryer. That might happen, but that's not a good strategy. So we will be, as we move forward, be able to help you with these things. But just top of my mind as well is seasonal items, how you can use seasonal promotions in the salon, but not necessarily overwhelm your shelves, but and then still use the app to get those sales. So there's many things we can work on here together as a team, if you like, to really increase the retail. So don't expect chance and luck to increase your retail. We still have to be savvy about this, because I truly believe it can be a game changer moving forward in terms of retail. So thank you.
Many people have called it a game changer. So just let me add to that, Daniel. So let me give you an example. So let's say that you, H.H. Simonson, at the moment, of course, they have the beautiful summer iron, the sorbet collection. You could have a poster in the salon with the sorbet collection, right? You'll have your professional Simonson tool, and they're the same tool, right? They're just in a seasonal promotion color. So your client might say, oh, that looks nice. Yeah, well, this is the tool. And the important thing is that you know what's being sold. So the thing about Simonson, of course, it's 3 heat points. Some tools have 2 heat points. Some only have 1. Simonson has 3. That's why it does heat evenly along the iron. It's why it works so fast. When you curling the hair, it literally, you wrap it, you can take it out and it curls, etc., etc. So you'll be able to take part in those promotions without having to buy all of the irons for stock. And then if the client says, oh, I'd really like one of those, it's real simple. You say to the client, okay, well, download the app, or if she's already got it, go to the app and make your purchase, and the client could have it tomorrow. So
I think that's such a good point. And I know that a lot of you have experienced when you have to purchase, and we still have that. We are in the distribution and selling products. I know how it can be sometimes with buying a high number of products for Christmas. I think ours is fairly reasonable. It tends to be like in 6, some might be in 12. I'm talking general products. We don't even have opening orders for Simonson. We very much let people do that. But let's use electrical tools historically when it comes to seasonal, so Christmas, etc. You have to purchase a certain amount. It tends to be quite a lot of money, and it's very few salons, maybe some, of course there is, that sell out. So when use Christmas as an example, you get out of Christmas and you still have the Christmas edition. And one of the things that product companies love doing, because that's how they make money, is of course release new tools. So then the new season comes along, which is spring, summer, and you still have the Christmas tool. It's really, really hard, because apart from that sort of speed of sale, or keeping up season for season and occasion to occasion, your clients are exposed to those same tools, same promotions wherever they go. And I just think that this moment in time with these things is they're swinging that momentum back into your favor. That's how I see it coming along with those things. You shouldn't be, a salon is not supposed to be afraid to lose the repurchase. I don't know how else to say it. You are not supposed to do a good job, fall in love with a product, learn it, own it, teach it, educate, recommend on that product, and be afraid of the repurchase. You are doing all the job. So that bridge that bridge is what this app is going to do. And if you don't care about the repurchase, that's absolutely fine. You know, I get it. There's loads of brands out there, loads of options. I'm happy, you know, go for it. But that is the reality. And I think that this is a tremendous benefit. Mm-hmm. Anyway, where are we? Next question.
No, hang on.
There, I don't
go
think
back
we answered
we didn't
that
answer
because
that
I
one.
just went off.
So, will you automatically be notified if a client buys a product from the app? Yeah, not per purchase, but in the monthly report that you'll get. So at the end of the month, you'll get a report and you will know what clients have bought what and the total of that, because that forms the part that triggers, if you like, the payment from us to you, and it will be monthly.
It will be monthly. And I just want to say on that, so want you guys to understand what we see on the back end and going into the privacy side of things. So I already mentioned that, of course, we are not renting, selling, doing anything with the information, the data that we're getting in terms of the clients. What we can do with it, which is in the privacy part of it, is that we can still share it with you guys, because if they agree to use the app, the agreement says that you agree that we can use the data to make it better, and making it better is communicating with you guys and your clients anyway. The report, if you like, do say client and salon. That's how we see it. So Daniel Anderson, Feathers Colchester, and the purchases. So when we do a report to you guys, which will be on a monthly basis, you can get, I'm going to call it a fairly detailed report, certainly in the amount spent and the amount of clients and who they are. Right.
Okay, Darren's got a question. So he trusts himself and he trusts us. Concerned with clients having to manually put the salon name in. Unfortunately, there's no other way of being able to do this. We have to put the app has to go through Apple. Has to go through Android, but that one, Android's easy. They kind of leave the hard work to Apple. But there's no other way of being able to do it. So that's where the educating the client comes in, you know, where you say to the client, when you download the app, when you go to make a purchase, it will ask you your salon. Please remember to put, so for you, Darren, please remember to put Darren Michael.
I mean, yeah, and there is... That's super important. I can't stress that enough. And how that actually plays out in the salon, I'm sure is going to be different depending on salon to salon and client to clients. You can't necessarily do it, but you might have one client, you know, Debbie, can you do it while I'm doing this kind of thing? And then you hand it over for the password part, maybe, you know, those kind of things. But you know, that accountability has to come, that you guys teach and educate them on it and trust that they, I mean, if Salon Love is the first app they ever download, I mean, that'd be amazing, wouldn't it? But I doubt it. I mean, most people at this moment in time have had some form of registration, whether it's on the phone or the computer. But I do agree with you. And I understand your concern, because we have people getting trade accounts at Passion for Hair, you know, and it's approved at 10 a.m. and by 11 a.m. they don't remember what email they used or what password they have. So I get it. It's very common. But you just have to work on that.
Yeah. This is a good time to say, Daniel, that what can happen is that a client can type in, I don't have a salon. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mickey Mouse. I mean, they can type anything in, and we know we're going to come across this, and it's a, you know, terrible shame. What we have said is that any purchases that come through which are not allocated to a salon, a specific salon, and we can't find a way to allocate them to a specific salon, that money's the 32% is going into a fund, an education fund. We won't keep that. Passion for Hair won't keep that 32% for themselves. So it will go into an education fund for the benefit of our salons.
Yeah, you know, I think majority of you guys know that a lot of the programs that we do, let's just use lockdown, for example. I'm not suggesting that we should have charged, but our programs are free and sponsored. And so are many other programs that we do, you know, pre-lockdown and will it be post-lockdown, like Elite and ESON, which is full day, lunch included, and all those kind of things. So it will just go to the fund of doing that, so we can put better infrastructure, better information, better context to you guys to maintain what we have in this sort of community of salons and stylists. Yeah, that's the best way we can probably explain that one. Next question. Janice, yeah, great question. So on the registration form at this moment in time, there is a request for VAT, and it also says company on one. You don't have to fill them in to go carry on. We are going to change those. There is a couple of minor details on the registration form because one, we haven't neither had the time, etc., to do those, but it doesn't need to be there. It doesn't need to be filled in, etc. So we're going to look at that, but there is no. They're not there on purpose, if that makes sense. They're just there. We need to take them away. So next question. Does the stylist get commission on this for retail bank? Debbie, this is your territory.
Yeah, actually, because it is one of my employees too. What salons, do in terms of how you work that out within your salon, of course, is down to each salon, but we have got some ideas. And so retail bank is a separate question for feathers. But in answer to your question, Leanna, yes, the stylist will get their commission and it can go to retail bank just in the same way. However, we do need to understand that the commission will be a little bit less because it's a little bit less for everybody because there's more of a cost, as it were. Although, and I can't finalise it right on here. One of the things I can't finalise it right on here. Just say that. But one of the things to take into consideration is, but everyone's going to benefit. That's the point about it, and everyone will get their commission.
Next question.
What goes in the company box?
Oh yeah, so on the registration form again, so same as the VAT, we're going to look to remove that. You don't have to put in the company box or the VAT. When we built this app, the registration form was
it's a template.
Yeah, it's a template, and if we would do like a B2B, like the Passion Fair website, and just a question for us to rename them, take them away. And the truth is, we just didn't have time this morning. We were doing other editing, and we wanted to share it with you guys, and you can still leave those empty and move along with your purchase. You cannot leave empty the salon bit.
Yeah, Daniel, can I just butt in there really quickly? Just because with the company box, we won't be able to remove the company box. That's a shipping address thing. So sometimes people like to have their stuff delivered, whether it's from us, ASOS, Boohoo, to their place of work, like an office. It's the shipping address. So that company box can be left blank if it's being delivered to a residential address. But it has the option there to have a company if the client wants that order to be delivered to a commercial address, like an office block or a salon, for example, but wherever they work.
That makes sense.
So that particular box will not leave. That will not go. It's just a shipping address, and the reason it won't go is because there are some things we don't have control over, and shipping addresses being one of them.
Sure. Oh, great answer. Happy with that, Andy? I hope you are.
Next question.
Next question.
My client has just put an order through. She loved it. Thank you. Emma, that's amazing.
Okay.
If you make any price changes on the app so we can stay the same in the salon, will you notify us? Yeah, the only prices that will change on the app will be general price increases, which we notify you when that happens. We do email. We put those kind of things in orders. And moving forward, one of the things we're planning and we're committing to is Daniel is going to do a commercial once a month, a commercial webinar, so that we're able to share information like promotions and things like price increases and all of that stuff, which is quite difficult to get the message out to everybody universally. So we want to really encourage our customers to join in those webinars, because that's where the opportunities to make more money are. You know, at the end of the day, that's what we're committed to. We want to make more money in our company, but we only make more money if you make more money. So yeah, please everyone, you know, commit to making those webinars with Daniel. And as you know, I'm going to do a monthly Business Bite webinar as well. And there'll be other webinars too, but those ones are that they're givens.
Delivery cost, it's all on there, Richard. I should probably know, but there is free delivery options. There is
£4.50 is 3 to 5 days, because that's including the VAT. And I think next day is, can someone tell me what next day is? Or Declan might remember.
I think it's like £7.50, is it?
£7.95. So next day is £7.95.
So they have those options, and just like, for example, our website, once they hit a certain number, so 140, if they buy a tool and a shampoo or whatever it might be to add up to that, the delivery cost just automatically becomes free. I think I'm right in saying that. Declan can assist me if I'm not. So if they hit the free spend number, that it's just free. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, the other thing, Daniel, and we're working on this at the moment. So this is a project. This is work in progress. We're actually going to have, so at the moment we have a 3 to 5 day option, and we have a next day option. And of course, if you hit a certain amount, it's free. We're actually going to have an in-between option where you can have next day.
Yeah, I think I've already done it. It's on there.
Oh, okay.
Maybe we should have had it.
But that's also for salons too, isn't it? So when the salons go back, there's going to be some other delivery options. So you can have, I think it's with £65, you can have next day for £3.95 or something like that. And you can have 3 to 5 days free over, I can't remember. But anyway, we're changing some of our options. Can we use the commission as a credit for further purchases? Yeah, other people have asked about that as well, Andy. We're still waiting for some information from our accountants, because we have to make sure that this is all done following the tax laws. And we're going faster than the accountants are at the moment. So the answer is yes. But how like the money has to be seen going out and coming back. So we'll have to wait and see, you know, what that means.
Yeah.
You know,
next question.
Could we find out the exact name of our salon you have to make sure clients don't put something different? Gary, don't worry. If the client spells it wrong, then we can work it out. Okay, so we haven't got here where it's got to absolutely say that. If it says, gosh, I can't remember the name of Gary's salon. Seven Harlow, and someone spelt it SEVERN, we will know that that is you, right? And someone else spells it, you know, I don't know. But if it looks remotely like 7 Harlow, we'll know it's you. Okay. So
yeah, and it's, you know, and it probably sounds really strange, but it's the truth. And I think the important part, and it's been a conversation, you know, in-house, if you like, on this, is sometimes people literally put the salon in London thinking that we do business with all of them and that we should just know. So, and I know that sounds extreme, but I want you to know it happens. It does happen. So yes, it doesn't need to be super detailed, but it needs to be understood. Will we try to change it? Of course we will. Yes, we're not here to try.
If we find a better way, then we will.
Yeah.
Then we'll find a better way. Can you have a star on my salon?
Can I just butt in here, because I think I understand what Andy's saying. I think he means an asterisk under my details, so it has to be filled in. There is a star under my salon. It does have to be filled in. You just can't see it on the phone, because there's too many characters in that thing. So it is there. It's at the end. And if you search on an iPad, you'll see because the iPad has more screen real estate that is there at the end. It's just not there at the end on the phone. But rest assured, if you try, you can't save your details without having something entered in that field. So the star just basically means it has to be entered. And it is there. You just can't see it at the end. If you have a look on your phone, it says, my salon, enter no salon if you don't. And then it says ... It's just because there's not enough screen real estate on the phone. So it is there.
Right, excellent. Thank you. Thank you.
Next question. Can clients register without purchasing straight away? Just thinking we could get clients to download and fill out salon details when they're getting their hair done with the intent of buying after.
So if you go to menu on the left-hand side straight away at the bottom, it says my account, and they can register straight away. Once you've registered, when you register, should I say, it only asks you for your email and your password. But then once you've registered, you go to my details on your account page, and that's where you enter their details. So you enter their full name, their partner salon, their email, and their phone number. Hit save, and then once they've done that, they can then go away and purchase at any time, and that stuff will never change. So you have the peace of mind that they've got their salon name correct because you've done it in salon, and then they can go away, and that stuff will never change.
And also, so you guys know, in terms of downloads versus purchase, we don't know if your client downloads it. We will see downloads, but it won't go Debbie Digby Northampton downloaded it. We only see the details of the person once purchases are made. Just letting you know that. So our sort of incentives moving forward are going to be purchase related, not download related, because we will just see the number of Android and iOS going up, but we won't see the details behind that number. I hope that makes sense. So a purchase, we get all of the details from your clients. A download or just a registration, we do not have that because there's been no transaction. It's just literally a number in a column. And that's really important. So if you tell me by Friday you have 50 people download it, we will see 50 downloads. We probably see more, but we can't see who those individual people are. It has to be through purchase.
Okay, next question. You have allowed us to become unique and, dare I say it, more or less untouchable. Massive USP, making money whilst we sleep. Oh, thanks, Matt. I cannot tell you how happy I am about this app. This app, and actually you were the first one that said it, Matt, but lots of people have said it as well. It changes the game. Changes the game for you, and it changes the game for us too. And you watch others follow, and if they can get anywhere near 32% for the salons, I'll tip my hat. But remember that we were first. $7.95 is the postage. Can we have the marketing with the orders that are sitting with you now pre-opening? Can we have the marketing with the orders that are sitting with you? Okay, so
it's not actually here yet.
Pre-opening. What, Daniel?
Well, it's not. The answer is probably yes, but it's not here yet. We don't have the struct cards, hasn't arrived.
No, but I think Janice is saying she's got orders that are sat waiting for opening. So she's saying the pre-opening orders. Janice has got orders here. Is that right, Janice? She's got orders here. She's made them, but they're not leaving yet. So she's saying, can you pop it in? Yes, course, we will try and do that. If we don't, we'll get it to you as fast as we can. But we've tried to work really fast. And yeah, when the salon's open, you know, we want everyone to open with this already. Like, bloom, there it is, you know, from the moment we start. Yes. Next question. Where does the client put the stylist name? So they would put, I taught you well, Leanna. So they would put Feathers, Culture, Start, Leanna. But actually, you don't need to do that because the client's name will be there, and so there'll be a process where, if that's what you want to do, you can do that. But there'll be a process where you'll have the client's name, and so you'll be able to see who the stylist commission goes to. But yeah, next one. All the salon owners are on here are wondering which one is Leanna. Next question, Deck.
Might be it.
I did just want to say one thing about the link, because Jane asked for the link. I've posted the link in the chat there, you'll see. I just want to give people a little warning about that link, so you have the dialogue if you receive this feedback from your clients. That link will only work on a mobile device, so a mobile or tablet. If they're on a desktop, that link has no App Store or Google Play Store connected to it to take them somewhere, so it will come up with an error. So that link will only work if the client is on a mobile device. But it does say, the error does say, this isn't going to work because you're on a desktop, just so everybody knows. So if people are on their laptops and they try and click that link, it won't work.
Okay. Is that all the questions, Dick?
That's all the questions in regards
to
the app. There's some more questions here regarding what you were speaking about earlier, Debbie.
Oh, okay. Let's have those. We've lost some of our audience, actually. Will we definitely open on the 4th? I don't know. We can only hope. Do you think we'll get pushed back again? Maybe. Who knows? All I can tell you is that people were on the beach like 10, 11 days ago or whatever it was, and they're telling us the numbers are not going up, they're going down, which is all a little bit confusing. So what went on at the weekend, you know, in terms of people demonstrating, which I completely, number one, I think it goes without saying in this group that I completely support, what people are setting out to achieve. What I don't support is lawlessness. And so, all that people not social distancing was terrible. And the knock-on effect of that, if it does create people getting infected with coronavirus, it will be beyond people being infected with coronavirus. It will impact the economy, the NHS, I mean, let's not go on about it. But anyway, is anyone making bookings? I mean, I do. Some are and some are not, is what I know. Let's let people put a little bit of feedback there of what they're doing. Lists. There you are, making lists. This is it's a great reason to get in touch with our clients, the Salon Love app, so should be fabulous. Okay, any more questions, Dick? How do you get the percentage for the rent? What do we divide it by? Michelle, divide it by the professional take-ins, right? And if you need help, reach out. It'll be really, if you can get your hands on your last profit reports, right, or what those numbers are, and that's why I picked those numbers. I can help you probably in 15 minutes get those two numbers. Okay. Any more questions?
I think that's it.
We're all caught up on questions.
Okay, and I can see there, Marcus, so he can recommend Euphoria University for break-even mini course and raising prices. So that is great. And while we're talking about that, for those of you who saw Vision Quest, so Euphoria are taking ESON digital, and that means that here in the UK we're going to be able to join the Euphoria ESON meetings, which is fantastic. And on July the 15th I am doing a program, the 7 mistakes businesses make in a crisis. I'm doing that program on July the 15th, so it's possible that we might be too busy on July the 15th. That I won't be. I'll be busy doing that for the US. But anyway, so that's something for us all to look forward to as well, right? There's going to be, even once we all move back to working every day, we got programs, and all these digital platforms are allowing us to you know, join forces with others and etc etc. So that's great. Olympia wants to know why we're not in the same room. It's only because of we're actually in different buildings. Daniel's in the Passion for Hair Academy and I'm in the Passion for Hair upstairs office in separate buildings, but it's only because for webinar, if we were in the same room, we'd have to be sitting side by side, like it will be a bit cheesy. So for professional webinar reasons, we're in different rooms. All right, Olympia. I'm so pleased that you're worried about our relationship. I think that is Daniel. Did you mention when people have made 30 orders?
No, I'm waiting for that tomorrow. Actually, I'm doing that tomorrow. I will release that tomorrow, not now.
Okay. He's doing that tomorrow. Right. Oh, well, that's it then, everybody. Yeah, I'm so pleased you're all excited. And yeah, let's, you know, get out there this afternoon with the information. Emma has already got one of her clients ordering, so that's fantastic.
That is true. Yes.
Yeah. And thank you all. Now, Friday, Jude is going to be with us. Jude is doing she's doing the going back to work, dealing with long routes, balayage, you know, what to do in different situations. So, you know, if I turn up on your doorstep, my routes are currently like this. What's the best way to deal with that? So that's on Friday. So get all your stylists registered for that one. It's not about product, it's about technique. I mean, it will be about product as well, but it's about technique, etc. And yeah, we look forward to speaking to you all later. Really great to see you all.